talking about you guys do all the dawah, you call to Islam. I feel like we women, we're not doing enough. I have to tell you something, brothers. You're doing nothing compared to your sisters. You're doing nothing compared to your mothers, to your wives, to your sisters, to our sisters in Islam. They're doing everything. You're doing nothing. Because when you call to Islam, it's only going to be when you feel like it. Yeah, right? Somebody's talking to you and you go, well, want a bumper sticker? That's you. Maybe. You want a ballpoint pen? Here's a DVD. And these are the extremists, right? We call these guys the du'at of Islam. Wow, he's out there. He actually told people about Islam. Mas! Oh, wow! Woo. I'm excited. But guess what? These ladies are 24/7. When they're out in the public, they're showing Islam immediately. Immediately! Because everybody look at them and go, she's no nun. That's not a Catholic lady. I know what that is. That's a Muslim. Is that right or wrong? Ladies, we congratulate you. You got guts. Sorry, I'm just playing. I'm from Texas. I can't help you. I got to tell you, you know how it is. You guys got the guts. You're doing it. You're going out in front of people and you're saying, you know what, I'm a Muslim. So what? Us? Well, you see how we dressed. Most of us. A few. But most of us, we're going to... you can wear the clothes of these people, by the way. It's not haram. It's not haram. As a matter of fact, even wearing a kufi, some people just put a kufi on their head and they consider that pretty extreme. Yeah? But our sisters, look at them. MashaAllah. MashaAllah. May Allah bless you guys, reward you guys, and give you Jannah to Firdaus A'la. Amen. You deserve more than we can give you, that's for sure. We really. Because when they're walking in public, they are giving dawah immediately. Because in order for people to know what's Islam, it's not about reading books. To know what's Islam is not just to watch something on the internet. To know real Islam, you have to know people who actually live Islam. And who's living Islam? Today, when we go to the television, to the magazines, the newspapers, the internet, when we go there, we look at videos, what do we see? They said, this is Islam, and what do they show us? Huh? They show us a guy who's wrapped all up in black and everything, maybe his eyes are showing like this, and he's saying, Al-Jihad! Allahu Akbar! And he's got a sword and he's waving it around, and we're like, oh, that's Islam, oh my God. If you took all of those guys from Afghanistan and all the guys from Iraq and Yemen and from all the countries, the ones that actually do that, you would only have a few people. You wouldn't have is everybody in Yemen does this? No. Is everybody in Saudi Arabia doing this? No. These are a few. How few? Well, let's count all the people in Indonesia. And plus, by the way, if you don't know this, we have about 240 million. That's 250 million Muslims in China. Did you know that? 140 million of them are recorded as residents. But they have almost that much again who are not recorded because you're only allowed to have one child, but they let the Muslims have more children, but you can't count them. You follow that? One family has 5 children. How many children do you have? 1. That's Chinese law. But they don't want to mess with the Muslims in that part of the Muslim world, the Chinese world. Because these are the ones that are over toward Afghanistan, Pakistan, over there. They don't want to mess with those guys. So understand that we have a lot more Muslims in the world than you think. Actually, it was in the Clinton era, when President Clinton was in, that his Secretary of State, Madeleine Albright, she said, 1 in 4 people in the world is a Muslim. And today it's more than that. 1 in 4 was a Muslim. So if this is correct, imagine that's about 2 billion people, almost 2 billion people. Now, out of 2 billion, if 50 or 60,000 of them are swinging swords and screaming and hollering, that's like nothing. That doesn't even equal, and by the way, the number of prisoners that we have in the state of Texas. Right now, today, we probably have about 3 or 4 million people in prison. When I started in the prison work, there was 1 million in prison in America. When I left the work, there were 2 million, and that's been over 10 years ago. Imagine. So, just the number of people that we have in prison for drugs and murder way outnumbers all of the people in the world swinging swords and screaming and hollering and killing people and chopping off their heads. And we're not agreeing with that. I'm not saying that we like this. That's not my point. The point is, you're thinking all the Muslims are like this. If that's the case, everybody in America, to be fair, you have to say everybody in America belongs in prison. If you want to be fair. If you're going to use that kind of criterion and that kind of an assumption. So we have to understand that really the majority, the vast majority, almost all the Muslims in the world know what real Islam is teaching us about respect, honor, dignity, morality, and especially taking care of others and giving rights. This is Islam. Oppression, slavery, forcing people, dhulm. This is not Islam. It's against Islam. But there's no voice telling people in English the story. Is there? When was the last time you tuned into your TV? Be honest. And you saw somebody sitting there saying, this is real Islam. They're good. They're kind. They're nice. They do good work. Isna, Ikna, Mass. They're going out and they're doing things, helping people, building houses, helping after a hurricane, after a tornado, the natural disasters. Muslims have been there so many times with medical help, Muslim doctors going in and volunteering their time, effort, and money to help other people. But we don't know who they are. Why? Because, brothers and sisters, they are covered up. They're covered up a different way. Our sisters, they're covered up and everybody knows who they are. The Muslim brothers, you're covered up and nobody knows who you are. Why? Well, one of the reasons, because whenever somebody asks, what's your name? It's Mo. My name's Mo. What'd you say? My name's Mike. Mike. Yeah, hi, Mike. By the way, if you'd like to know something, when we first started the call-ins and letting people call us in the live shows, somebody from Philadelphia, if you're in Philadelphia, assalamu alaikum, guys. But in Philadelphia, we had one call-in and he said, I want to enter Islam. He made Shahada. And he said, can I change my name? I said, to what? He said, I don't want to be Michael anymore. I don't like Mike. I want to be Muhammad. I said, good, that makes up for it. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. But by the way, we're talking about the live call-in. I'm going to change subject just for a minute. Live call-in, the first time we went live with a telephone number, people could call us. Who was the first caller? A lady. A woman from Texas. Yay for Texas. Yeehaw! But she was in Austin, Texas. She said, can I make Shahada? I said, what? How do you know it's Shahada? She said, I've been watching Guidance TV since you guys started, and I know it's Islam, and it's what I believe. I want to be a Muslim. And she made Shahada. Her name was Candace. And then I went there in Ramadan, and I met her, her jama'ah, the people there from the masjid. And I found she's now brought her whole family to Islam. Her husband, her children, everybody in her family. Then going to another level and even talking to other people about Islam. And now she is Maryam. Now that's when I like to hear it, And no, by the way, those at home, just so you know, there was nobody throwing swords around when they said that. I don't want to put down something here. If you're at home watching this right now and you're not quite understanding where I'm coming from, if you give me just a second, I would like to tell you. There's recently been some very heavy, bad videos out there coming to you courtesy of CNN, ABC, and every other network out there publishing that. And they have a right to put it out there. There's no doubt it's their right what they want to publish. And what they're showing is true to an extent. And what is true to that extent is against Islam. Yes, it's true that some people have done some very bad things. Killing any innocent person, regardless of how you do it. Killing an innocent person in Islam, this is in the Quran in Surah Al-Ma'idah, chapter 5 of the Quran. Whoever takes one innocent life, it's as though they killed all of humanity. One. But if he saves an innocent life, it's as though he saved all of humanity. So what does that indicate to you? What is Islam teaching us with that? What do you understand from that? I want you to be honest. What did you understand from what I just said? So if somebody did that, even one innocent life, what does that mean to you? Be honest. Yeah. It means that whoever did that is against Islam, not in Islam. Okay? So, while they have a right to show what they show, the assumption and the indication that they add to it as though all Muslims are here just waiting for their chance to jump out and grab you. This is not right. And somebody has to bring a voice out there to counter that. We are only on the satellite, internet, and the apps, and a few low bandwidth antennas, very low. And like here in New York City, in Manhattan, we reach all of Manhattan and into New Jersey. That's about it. There are some people that put antennas on their roof up to 70 miles away. They claim they can see us, but I don't know. The same is true in Los Angeles. We do have an antenna there, but again, it's only going to cover the immediate area. We have a couple of antennas in Texas, Houston, Dallas, and Fort Worth, and in Columbus, Ohio. But what about the rest of the United States? And we don't have it yet. And what we do have is very limited. Even tonight, we're working. I've got two brothers working right now as hard as they can trying to fix the problems that we got in our live broadcast tonight. And imagine that we have only got these few people. Today, when I was in Manhattan, I met with the production manager for Al Jazeera TV. By chance, he happened to be in the same parking lot, and he's a good friend of mine. So we were talking. Just listen to this. You see the cameras that we've got here? Huh? When they go out, I asked him, how many cameras you got? He said, at least 15. 15. And you know what we don't have? I want you to look real close. You see those cameras right there? How many cameramen do you see standing there with them? None. Zero. And he has one or two for every camera, because one will be helping the other one, assist them, lighting, audio, moving their cameras back and forth, and the dolly, when it goes on the track, all these kinds of things, and the boom mic, the boom camera, the one that's on the jib, all of those things that you might see that. If you ever see the news, sometimes they pull back and you can see things going on. And how can we do this? Now, this is where you come in. You're sitting there at home wondering about Guidance TV. Why don't we have more of this and more of that? Well, I'm going to ask you a question. Are you not aware of the fact that this is the only channel that we have for the free voice of Islam in America? There is not another channel. If it goes off the air, you've got nothing. Up to now, brothers like the one sitting in front of you here are working for, I don't want to tell you, I'm not going to say, don't worry, but working for sake of Allah. Working for sake of Allah. When they go home, Their families have to work to be able to pay for them to go out and do what they're doing. And this is why nobody has done this before. Because we don't allow advertising on our international broadcast. There's no ads, there's no commercials. Everything that's out there is for Islam. And that way, nobody's going to compromise this message. One of the biggest problems we have in our country, boys and girls, you're listening to me at home, that one of the biggest problems we have is the big lobbyists and the big business who control what we get to understand, what we get to know, and how we get to know it. Even in our university levels, they have a certain influence in there and an impact on what you're going to learn or not learn. The same is true whenever you go to the internet. I was shocked when I wanted to show somebody, I just want to show somebody yesterday, something about when you go to the internet, to the YouTube, you're looking at our videos. I didn't put them up there. Other people took my videos and put them up there. But you look at those videos, some of the brothers allow advertising on our videos because they get money. Think about it. And it means if you let them do any kind of advertising, you make more money. So why not say any kind of ad? It'll be fine. I make more money. I buy a nice new car off of a video for our deen. And what came on? Wallahi, I was so shocked. I just wanted to demonstrate. I had no idea what was going to come. Click. I expect to see used car commercials or something like this. Instead, it's a lady telling us things against Islam, against Muslims, against Arabs, clearly saying the very things opposite of the video that you are there to watch. But they paid for it. They have a right. If you pay for something, you have a right to say what you want to say. Isn't that right? It's America, man. How are we going to keep this voice free? Have you already figured it out? We got to put our hands together. Everywhere I go, I'm out every day, not just every week. Every day I'm out talking to people either about Islam or how to support Islam. If you're not Muslim, I'm going to tell you, La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. If you are a Muslim, I'm going to tell you, it's time, brothers and sisters, to support this effort. Because if this channel goes dark, I got news for you. We're all in serious trouble. Our children, our future, our friends, and our neighbors will not get that right message. If you think, well, they'll all come to the masjid, excuse me, what tomorrow morning is Fajr, right? Yeah? Just show up for Fajr. Be honest, how many showed up for Fajr this morning in the masjid? MashaAllah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ladies, you automatically showed up even though you didn't, because Allah gives you the reward for the maximum by praying in your house. So you guys all count. MashaAllah. Did you know that? That's right. You get more reward praying at home than if you come to the masjid. Most reward in your privacy on your schedule. By the way, you don't have to go like us. We got to line up and on time and all. The ladies don't have to do that. Are you jealous? People say it's not the same for men and women in Islam. You're right. And they don't want it the same either. They're very happy with what they got. And we should be happy with what we have. The point that we're making, though, is if you don't support this channel, and inshallah, I'll keep trying until I die. But then what? Very important. And don't die except you're in Islam. Right? So then working together, helping it happen. I know you guys, many of you, I know you work hard and you want to support Islam. Right now, they're making like a small documentary, I think, up in the front. They were recording something up there. Events, very important. You have your organization and you're doing put a program together. But not every community has that. People to do what our brother Yusha is doing right there. To be able to patiently work through these right. So that instead of one person, that we've got a team. How many of you ever saw Peace TV? Anybody knows Peace TV? Dr. Zachar Knight started that back in 2004. Well, I happened to be over there at the time, and we were able to kick this thing off. He did all the work, he did all the finance, and I'm just one of the guys in front of the camera. I'm not trying to take credit away from him at all. He did everything. But I would like you to know that when he travels, he takes at least 20, maybe 30 people with him to these different countries for the different things that they do. And they're all behind the scenes. That's not counting the 15 to 20 speakers that he takes along to put the programs on. Right now, I'm the speaker, there's the technicians. And it's not because we don't want to do more, but there are limits. We have more eligible resources here in America than you do in the British Kingdom, in the UK. In the UK, you have not even half as many Muslims as we have, but they have 14 channels that are owned by Muslims. The Islam channel over there has been going out since about 2002. Imagine that. What do we have? But we've got more, and we have more resources. Our cost of living is less over here, percentage-wise. We make more money. The problem is that we just are not directing our resources in the right direction. Our time and our money, John Wilma. Those two things, if we don't get control of pretty quick, we're going to be in worse shape. Now I'm going to ask, has anybody here heard that some people left Islam? Have you heard about it? Well, in case you didn't know it, that's happening every day. Not just to the new Muslims that leave Islam, our own kids leaving Islam. You didn't know that? Every masjid I go to, somebody comes up to me and said, come, I want to talk to you, I want to talk to you. I want to talk about my husband, or I want to tell you about my wife, or my kids, and so on, and so on, and so. And why? Because what they're seeing on the internet, what they're seeing on television, what they're hearing from non-Muslims is upsetting them, and they don't know what Islam really says on these issues. How old was Aisha when she got married to the Prophet ﷺ? When I came to Islam, nobody asked such a question. Nobody asked such a question for 1,400 years. But all of a sudden it became an issue because somebody found a way to twist it and make it look dirty, make it look bad. That's exactly what happened. If you want to know the answer, I would like to give all of you the place to get answers right now. There's a website, it's called searchforislam.com. Go to that website and type one word, harsh, H-A-R-S-H, and it will pull all of these harsh attacks against Islam up and give you the right answer from Islam with the proof. Searchforislam.com. And you'll notice it also calls itself Sheikh Google. That is Sheikh Google. S-H-E-I-K, no H after the K, google.com. But just go to Search for Islam, you'll see it. And then type in harsh. If you just want to hear about Aisha, type Aisha like this, A-Y-E-S-H-A space marriage. That's all. And it'll pop up a lot. Videos, audios, also articles, proof for you. But if you type harsh, you'll get all of the questions about the Quran, about the Hadith, about our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The problem is, many people have told outright lies with absolutely no proof. And we're not talking about twisting an ayah. We're not talking about misrepresenting a Hadith or mistranslating. We're talking about just an outright lie. A big lie. But there's been nobody to counter it. 10 years ago, well, 12 now, 12 years ago, it's 2002, when I typed in Google was brand new at that time, I type in Allah. Allah is searching. You know what comes up? A whole page attacking Islam. Not one for Islam. And if you type moon god, that didn't say Allah, right? It comes up Allah. They're saying that we worship a moon god in a box in the desert. Clearly in the Quran, Allah tells you you cannot worship the stars of the moon. It says it in the Quran, clear. How did they get this? How did they get away with it? Because there's no voice. If you don't answer, then they assume that you have nothing or you're guilty. That's the way it works. That's called trial by media. You're on trial by the media, by the news people. They're putting you on trial, and you're guilty because you didn't answer. By us having our own channel, this channel right here, at least we can say, guys, Islam has this and this and this. If you don't like it, don't take it, but at least don't lie about it. Alhamdulillah. I'm going to tell you some good people in this country. They're not Muslim, but they're good people. You want to know one? Hillary Clinton. Why did I say that? Because one of our sisters converted to Islam from Hindu. And she went out. She still goes out. Maybe some of you have seen her. Her name's Khadija now. And she puts out a table and she puts out the stuff. She advertises in the Hindu magazine, a full page every month, showing what's Islam. But do you know what she did one time? She made my first CDs ever, because I used to have audio tapes. And she took that CD and she went to Hillary Clinton and gave it to her in her hand and took her phone number and called her every day. Did you listen to it? Did you listen to it? Finally, Hillary Clinton told her, said, listen, don't call me anymore, and I promise I'll listen to it. She said, okay. Next day she called her. She said, did you listen? She said, yes, I did. And listen to this. She was the senator from New York at that time. She said, I wish I could get 50,000 of these right now and give them to every police chief in the state of New York. Imagine that? And you know what? I couldn't find one person to help me put them out. We came up with about 1,500, that was it. Because see, the state can't pay for religious material. They can't. It would be wrong. And you wouldn't want them to. Because if they said, well, we'll pay for Catholic material, you know what I'm saying? So, who is going to be on trial on the day of judgment? Ask yourself. Because we're coming to you, we're showing you, guys, this is what we're doing, this is what we need. Now, I want to come back to, we were talking about the cover-up. We told you that the ladies are doing the big cover-up, and they're doing a great job. But the problem for us men, we're doing a cover-up, and we're doing a bad job. We're covering up real Islam. We need to be clear when we talk to you and let you know, I am a Muslim. And we believe there's one God, and we believe that after our service to God, we have to give service to people. If I can't give good service to the people, I cannot be a good Muslim. That's how it works. Many times, you brothers, and I know you, you've done some good deeds, some very wonderful things, but you hid the Islam and they didn't know it came from us. They didn't know that. And there's nothing wrong with giving dawah when you're doing good deeds. You're not asking people to praise you. You're asking them to listen to what you believe. Why do you do what you do? Why are you kind? Why did you stop your car to help somebody? Why did you help a lady get across the street? Why did you do what you did? Because this is my religion teaches me this. And I know that sometimes it's difficult, brothers, to speak up. You get shy, you get afraid, but don't be afraid. Fear Allah on the day of judgment, because His wrath, His anger on that day is not going to be compared to anything else. Nothing else compared to that wrath on that day. And I ask Allah to keep that away from us on. Now, I'm going to wrap this up because although I can't see the time, I have a feeling that we're, 10 to 10. I'm looking at our technician to take a clue from him. You want me to shut it off? Okay, guys at home, I'm going to... Huh? Yeah, I'm going to tell them what we're going to do. Yeah, I'm going to switch.
And there was nothing. Nothing. We went down the streets, nothing. All the stuff they showed, Hollywood. The channel that ran it happens to be some friends of mine. And it was authorized. They made it look like it was a real thing. They thought it was for real, and they ran it. They said, but we didn't check it. It's our fault. They apologized. But how many people believed what they saw and never heard about the apology? There are some people out there that want Islam to... Maybe they make money out of do what they do. But not all of it is true. But what is true is this. A real Muslim would never join hands with people who are killing innocent people. I told you when we started, I'll tell you again, and this is, I got to wrap it up with this. Our words of Almighty Allah, God Almighty, is telling us, if you kill one innocent person, it's like you killed everybody on the planet. But if you save one innocent person, it's like you saved everybody on the planet. This is for sure. And yes, you see some hot-headed people jumping up and down and screaming and hollering, and they have had some bad history themselves. These are people that probably need to be in a mental institution. They've been badly abused, true. But don't think that's all of Islam. Don't think that's all the Muslims in the world. It's not right. The vast majority of Muslims, and I know because I visited so many Muslim countries, and I visited many countries where we have a lot of Muslims. And by the way, from Finland to Japan, I found that the Muslims are highly respected there because they have a voice, because they promote real Islam, they stand up for Islam, and they're a part of the community. They don't isolate themselves. And this is what I'm calling for us today. Brothers and sisters, before it gets any worse, let us put our hands together to support this effort. Now you're at home and you're thinking, what should I do? I'm going to tell you it's real simple. If you'll do it, we'll even send you one of these bumper stickers. Take a look at this. It says, and our message is, La ilaha illallah. There's no God to worship except Allah. And it says on this bumper sticker, worship the Creator, God Almighty. Worship the Creator, not His creation. It's very simple. One of our brothers in New York, right here, put this on his car. Somebody asked him about it. He called me. I came to him. We sat together with the person. 20 minutes later, they entered Islam from this piece of paper. And nobody can say, if you put this on your car, you're not trying. At least you did something. So, and I think I have enough. How many of you have a car? Anybody got a car that's got a bumper? It has to have a bumper. Anybody got two cars? They all have bumpers? Okay. I want to be sure. I'm going to try my best to make sure everybody here tonight gets a bumper sticker for every bumper you got. Back bumpers only, by the way. And for those of you who don't have a car, but you do have a refrigerator, you can get one for your refrigerator. You can put it up there. And I promise your refrigerator won't run away. You don't even have to set the brake at the stoplight on that thing. Anyway, if you guys at home would like to get one of these bumper stickers, go to the web. Us. People said, you mean guide you? Why not? Not. I hope it guides everybody. You might think, well, you know what? Endeavor and the company. These guys are bad, they support you. On the internet they said no. I did that 2 weeks ago. I went to Wikipedia. Somebody told me, you need to stop saying stuff if you don't know what you're talking about. Well, okay. So go to Wikipedia and look up the name of that coffee company. And I did. Look who's the CEO. And I did. And it said that he received the award for the most influential in fundraising in America for the Zionists. Who? The CEO of that coffee company. I'm not going to say their name, but I'll remind you of something that used to be in the comic books back at the time of, well, none of you are as old as me, so you probably never heard of Little Orphan Annie. Daddy Warbucks. That might help you to know what I'm talking about. And that was a slam against the war, trying to point at these people with all this extra money, and that was the Warburg family. But I want to get into that. I'm just putting that out. Realize that all of us need to work together to help each other to know who are the friends and who are the real enemies. And I don't want anybody to do anything bad to those people at all. I'm just saying, if you know where you want to put your money, operation. That if you don't like what we do, take your money and with that وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. جزاكم الله خيرا. And until next time, when we can be together, I always like to say,
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الحمد لله تعالى نحمده ونستعين به ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله تعالى من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا. من يهد الله تعالى فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. أما بعد، فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله تعالى، وأحسن الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم، وشر الأمور محدثاتها، وكل محدثة بدعة، وكل بدعة ضلالة، وكل ضلالة في النار. Brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu